Good evening, everyone. I want to thank everyone who tuned in for our first virtual signing of the evening with the enforcer, C.W. Anderson. We are back with our second this evening, and it's someone that's making a lot of waves in the Mid-Atlantic, the Tennessee area. She's trained by, we're going to talk about by a very good friend of Captain's Corner, absolute legend. And once again, this is her first ever virtual signing. We're very happy to have her on. Tess Warren. Tess, I want to welcome you to the Captain's Corner Happy Hour.
Hi, y'all. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm ready to sign some stuff. I am left-handed, though, so if you have any smudges, then it's not my fault.
That happens, and we got plenty of room on the table. Now, as we're going to like and share out, guys, by the way, what we're going to do, because if the first person that correctly put in the comments who you think is going to score a goal for America tonight, if you put the right player while we're on the feed, we'll throw in a free photo for you. So let's go over these photo options, Tess, and maybe you can kind of take us behind each photo.
Yeah, I'd like to.
As you can see, the jacket looks familiar.
Yeah, we got the jacket right here.
So this is our number one photo. Tell us about the look. Tell us when the photos was taken. I know it's got the emblem of the company down there. But
yes. So I'll start with the jacket because you did bring it up. My gear jacket is actually my dad's high school hunting jacket, and I have a couple of them. Yes, it is. So it's really important for me to wear it out just because he's always believed in me so much. So I always wear my dad's hunting jacket. So this is, I think, the only picture with me in the jacket. So
that is, at least, yeah, that we have.
A southern person, you hunt, you fish, then this is the one you want. And this was my first official promo shoot, so these pictures will always be very sentimental to me. So that's picture number one.
And that is our best seller. So some of the photos we have more than a few of. This is either the last one or the next to last one. So if you like test number one, do not delay, ladies and gentlemen. Our number two option.
Number two is really funny. Actually, I always tell this story where I say that Dr. Tom told me that I have no choice but to be myself, and that actually took place while I was taking this picture outside of JDWA. My training friend Austin was my beginners class, and I needed a picture because I was debuting earlier than I thought. So we went outside and found the nice red background, and Dr. Tom saw the way that I was when I was taking pictures and said, "You have no choice but to be yourself." So that's this picture, my first ever promo picture. Okay,
let's put it down. Representing the now, defunct, sadly, JPWA,
aka Exclusive Club.
Okay, we're gonna have to talk about that exclusive club and talk about Dr. Tom. Number three, great photo right there. Let's cheers to that.
Oh yeah.
Cheers to our number three photo. Tess is gonna crack her transfusion. Cheers to whoever's watching, wherever you're watching.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I told him I'm only drinking vodka for him. You know me, I'm a beer girl. This picture is from my days when I might have drank vodka. So before I took that picture, because I was debuting early, I was debuting even earlier, and this picture is actually from Halloween when I was in college, and I dressed up as Christina Aguilera, and it was used as my promo picture everywhere because promoters just got it. They just went to my Instagram and picked this picture. So I love this picture, but it's the bane of my existence because I hated seeing it on promos and some match stuff like that. But it is a really good picture, and this time of my life was super, super fun. So Christina Aguilera cosplay, let's call it that. Picture number three.
Now number four. We got a great, almost sunrise,
conveniently covered post.
Number four, there is a post-it, number four.
Yep, and so if you buy this, then you can get it without the post-it.
You will get it without the post-it. Yes. Confirmed. What memories of that photo?
This is from Figure 8 Island, which is where I grew up going to the beach. I am a coastal girl. I am the queen of the southern coast, okay? So this is me laying on my property, aka the beach, the ocean. My friend took this picture of me and she posed me for it. So it's one of the more like bikini beachy pictures I have. So I really like it, and I wasn't expecting to see it. So I haven't seen this picture in a while. And I recommend this one. That's
a personal recommendation. And it sounds like you said you could be a tourist on the island and give people recommendations.
Yeah, y'all can't go to Figure 8 though. It's private. So.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, buy this exclusive.
Well, this is the closest you're going to get.
Closest you're going to get.
And then number five.
Number five is again from my first ever promo shoot, which was at WrestleCade. I don't think I said that before. I worked title match. I worked Ladies Night Out for Title Match Network, And this is just about the jacket, but I'll say the story behind this photo is if you're an Amanda Kiss fan, she was behind the camera like posing me and stuff, and this one is all because of her. So
that's a cool little backstory.
I'll give Amanda Kiss credit for this.
We love that. Maybe we can have you and Amanda next
Dude,
time
I love
too.
Amanda. I love Amanda. I love Leah. I love both of those girls. I love them.
They're both killing it too.
They are popping off.
Yeah, North Carolina is getting hot again. Specifically,
As it should.
Yeah, wrestling. Well, specifically maybe women's wrestling. I feel like a lot of names,
Yes.
a lot of women, a lot of very talented. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our number 5 option, guys. Now, how did you? I'm assuming you grew up a fan of wrestling. How did you find the Jacobs Pritchard Wrestling Academy, or was that your first foray inside the ring? Or,
So, I've always loved wrestling, and I always knew that was something I wanted to get into. I found JWA because I actually, like, y'all had Emily J on last night. And
yeah, shout out to the Stunner.
Shout out to the Stunner. She was my introduction into the fact that I could be an indie wrestler. I didn't know that avenue existed, and I knew I wanted to be a wrestler. I just didn't know how. So it's great that I can do it on this sort of scale. But I found JWA because I'd gone to WrestleCade a few years to support Emily, and I just made friends. You know, she was around some cool people, and I ventured off and met some of my own people. And I knew wrestling was something I wanted to do, so I asked pretty much everyone I talked to, probably annoyingly so, where should I train? Who should I train with? And AJ Kazana actually was the number 1 person that said Dr. Tom, Dr. Tom, Dr. Tom. And obviously knew who Dr. Tom was, but did not know enough. I'll say that. I was not I didn't know all the history. So after doing my research, I decided on Dr. Tom's because it was something that I knew would mean something even if it didn't work out. So yeah, take it away.
Craig, Bobby, what's up? Now you said you didn't know enough about Dr. Tom.
Yes.
At what point did you I guess learn more about his career, not only as a trainer but as a wrestler?
As a wrestler, I feel like I learned most of it through him. You know,
Oh, just him kind of telling you.
yeah, and I would love when he would be teaching us something, and I would ask him a question, especially on promo days, and he would pull up an example of himself, and that was some of my favorite moments because he's funny when he watches himself, but we were all kind of in awe,
Now you talked about how you wound up graduating and taking the promo for it a little earlier than expected.
Yeah.
I guess maybe build to how that happened, but can you talk about the early days of training?
The early days of training. My training situation was Dr. Tom, me, 2 guys that had never wrestled before. I'd never wrestled before, so 3 beginners. And there was one guy there that had wrestled before, but had fractured his skull or something 10 years ago. You know the story. You know the typical story, okay? And so he was kind of trying to teach us and stuff, and so that was what early days were like. Was that guy trying to step in for Dr. Tom? But then once we started to get better than him, it was really us 3, me, Austin Lane, and another guy. And we really bonded together and just put in work. That was Dr. Tom's training. It was, you kind of get in what you put out of it. And me and Austin Lane specifically one day, sweat out for an hour and a half doing the Satan drill, and we beat the record for
What is the Satan drill, if you can tell?
Satan drill is 10 sit-ups, 10 push-ups, 10 up-downs, 20 times hitting the ropes, and I think we did it 11 or 12 times. Someone out there could probably do more, but for Dr. Tom's school, no one else had ever tried to. So I think early training was just me and Austin specifically, challenging ourselves as to how much we could do and how much we could learn. So building up to my first match, I graduated in September 6th maybe, but I had my first match a month before then. So it was very sudden. I was unexpected. And it was against Ruby, Manitoba.
How recent had Kenzie and Kylie Page graduated from Tom's school? And were they helping out with some of the training? Maybe not day to day, but popping in once in a while.
I don't even know how long ago Kenzie had graduated. I think Kylie maybe 2 years had graduated since maybe 2 years out. But Kenzie had obviously been graduated from a long time. I think she was in Dr. Tom's first class. So it had been a long time. I haven't trained with Kylie, but Kenzie was there a lot, and we became such good friends, and she's just been such a genuine mentor, and not just in wrestling, but as a friend, just such a good person to meet through wrestling. So I'm very grateful for her coming to Dr. Tom's and putting the time into me, and we have such a good friendship because of it, so that's great. Trained with her yesterday.
And Dr. Tom, one of the most beloved trainers in all of wrestling. When did you? At what point in the training did you realize how many people he actually was involved in their training? Because I mean, I feel like there's almost more people from the 90s and 2000s that he maybe wasn't involved in. Because I mean, he was involved in helping so many people.
I think I knew before I went, just because I did my research, and my family is not a wrestling family, so I kind of had to get it over to them by being like, well, he trained The Rock. so I did know. I knew who all he trained, and I think there's a great FCW documentary on, actually, I don't know where you watch it anymore. So I watched it on Peacock at the time, but it probably would have been on, like, WWE Network. But there was a great FCW documentary where Dr. Tom really talks about all of the people he's trained, and you see some of the most important figures today training with him at FCW. So.
You said you wound up graduating a bit early. Tess, how did that come about? Because I know Dr. Tom has specific graduation normally. How did you wind up, I guess, speeding up the process?
They need girls in wrestling, man. They needed a girl. Someone asked Doc for a girl, and he said, oh, I have someone that I think can go. And honestly, looking back on it, I think I was a little bit like, I was honored, obviously, that he thought I was ready, but I was so nervous, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not ready. But looking back on it, I am honored that he thought that I was ready 2 months in to have a match. And it wasn't the worst. It really wasn't the worst match ever. I will not tell you where to find it, but it wasn't the worst.
Will you tell us what it was? Like,
it was against Ruby, Manitoba at a county fair.
Okay. Oh, so that's going to be a big audience if it's county fair, right?
It was decent.
Okay.
It was decent. It wasn't bad. It was a good audience. It was a mess though, but it was good. It was a good first match. I cried after and said that I could die the next day because all I ever wanted to do is wrestle a match. So we've gotten pretty far with that.
Now you said was it something that with experience you're not as happy with it, right? It wasn't in the moment. Were you like, oh no? I think now I've come to terms with it. There was a time when I started to start doing better in matches, and I would look at it and be like, oh, why did anybody tell me this was good? Why did anybody like lie to me? And now I look back on it and I'm like, you know what? Like for your first match, like no one got hurt. You did good. See, yeah. Exactly.
Good audience reaction. Everything was fine.
Would it be NWA Crossfire? Well, what?
Maybe my earlier days, definitely Crossfire, and I still love Crossfire more than anything. But Extreme World Wrestling in Charlotte is definitely my home base. I am their women's champion, 140 days of counting, I believe. So yeah, Extreme World Wrestling in Charlotte is definitely my home and my favorite.
Do you have a shout out to Extreme World Wrestling? You said?
Yeah, Extreme World Wrestling in Charlotte, Lenny Boy Brewery.
Wow, when's the next show, and where was the last match where maybe someone could see it?
June 26th. My last match was January, February, March, April, May. April something. You can find it on YouTube. It was a cage match against Brittany Jade and Mila Johnson. And for my title, which was great. I don't know if I won. And then there's also another great match, me versus Leah Knight. You can find on YouTube for my title.
Check that out.
For Extreme.
You said you grew up a fan. Who was maybe a wrestler or two that really made you, because you said you weren't sure that you'd be able to do it, but made you wish or think about maybe becoming a wrestler?
That made me want to be a wrestler myself, because I definitely have favorites that growing up I now look at and use them for inspiration. But when I was growing up, AJ Lee, I feel like that's just everyone's answer that's my age, but seeing her when I was in the fifth grade, I had like 25 pairs of Converse after I had an obsession, and AJ Lee was the first time that a female character really clicked for me. So AJ Lee was maybe the reason that I said, oh, I want to do this. And Caitlyn. I think Caitlyn, them together was definitely...
Shout out to Caitlyn.
Yeah, shout out Caitlyn.
She's not mentioned as much as AJ and the Bellas in that era or Paige. But yeah, she was a big part of that era.
Because before I even wanted to be like AJ, there was a couple months where I wanted to be like Caitlyn. And maybe now I am more like Caitlyn, so that's why.
Caitlyn was badass, yeah.
Yeah, she was badass.
Yeah, shout out to Caitlyn. Our friend Matthew over in Northern Ireland. I don't know if he's still up. If he's still up, it's late over there right now. It's got to be probably 2 a.m. or something. But this will be to Matthew with any message.
All right, Matthew. I love Ireland. I trained there last year.
Yeah, you went on Lewis. Let's talk about that after we get Matthew his photo, because I remember seeing that.
MATTHE W.
Yeah. Oh, there was a little hesitation there, but you nailed it. That's either 5 or 6. Let us know if you're counting at home, guys.
Yeah, I'm actually going back to Ireland, I think, soon, so maybe you can catch me there.
Well, talk about how you got hooked up with, the European tour, and then you were over there for, was it a few months?
It was 2.5 months.
That's a long time.
Yes.
Tell us about the training, the shows, and maybe just the environment over there, Tess.
So there's Matthews.
Matthew, thank you.
All the way to Ireland. So I got the opportunity to go over there. I was really lucky just to make friends with 4 or 5 British people. Is that what you call them? British people? We call them the Brits. They had previously trained with Dr. Tom. They were trained before that, but they'd come over for one of Dr. Tom's classes and came back during my beginner session. And like I said, I did not have many experienced people in my beginner's class. So, Toby St. John, Jordan Sparks, Ruby Manitoba, Rhiannon Jade, and Carl Parker, all besides Dr. Tom, taught me everything that I know genuinely, especially in my beginners. And they invited me to come over to England and stay with them for however long. I had a one-way ticket. So I ended up staying 2.5 months, and the training was amazing and so welcoming, such a good group of people. It was Lion's Den, and the trainer there is Eddie Ryan, who is former NXT UK, so that was a really cool opportunity, and he is lovely. Josh Knott also trains there. His gimmick is country strong, so I felt, back at home for that. And Toby John actually trains there some now too. But training was fantastic, and I got to work so many more shows than I ever thought I was going to when I went over there. I really just went over there to train. So I ended up working 9 or 10 shows when I thought I was only going to get to work 1. So everything about the UK was amazing. I lived in a town with less than 1,000 people most of the time, and really got just the local village lifestyle that I don't think most people that travel to England really get. So it was amazing. And I'm going back soon.
Can you announce details or not yet?
I will be back July 20th.
Oh, okay. And by the way, our friend Matthew is up. He said he saw you at Over the Top Wrestling.
I'm not there yet, but
so
I did a day of training at Fight Factory with Katie Harvey.
Okay. So that may be.
But I will reach out to Over the Top because I would love to wrestle Miley Grace, actually.
Matthew wants to know: will you be in Belfast?
I will be in Dublin.
Dublin.
Yes, I will be in Dublin. I want to go back and train with Katie Harvey, so that would be at Fight Factory.
What's one thing that you missed from here when you were over there, and what's one thing that you missed when you came back stateside that you were enjoying overseas?
I missed the food. The whole time I was gone. More than anything, I missed like a convenient iced coffee. But I have my very specific experience was living in like a town with nothing.
Okay.
So I think I have a very unique I missed everything. But coming back home, I really just missed all my friends. I made such good connections out there and so many close friends. And I feel like I talk to a British person like every other day. So I really just miss my friends, and I miss the shows out there. The shows out there are fantastic. They're so fantastic. And just great wrestling. I miss that. But mainly my friends.
You have to have a funny road story, just traveling the road. Everyone's got one, especially, I was imagining you told me hotel-wise, just turn it in here, just in terms of direction-wise. I'm someone that even with the GPS we talked about, I may make a wrong turn or two. I can't imagine when people were using maps. So what was there a travel story? Because you're driving around a lot more from town to town.
Honestly, I feel like I make the most of traveling. I don't know. Normally when I travel, I pull over and stop at a random beach if I'm traveling near the ocean. I think the only one I can think of, and it's not funny at all, is I totaled my car a month ago, and I have
hard left.
Yeah, I really don't have a funny. I can't think of a really funny road story right now. I'm sorry, but I did total my car over a month ago, and I have a new car, so everything's fine. But my dog was in the car, and the cop that came had cauliflower ears, so I kept complimenting his cauliflower ears, and I think that got me out of getting in trouble at all.
Where was it?
It was on a highway, and I'll tell this. I'll defend myself. A car came to a hard stop in the middle of the highway. We were kind of in stop and start traffic, and the car in front of me slowed down and kind of barely tapped them. Well, I whammed into that car. Like, it didn't even feel like a wreck. I didn't even know what was happening. And the first car drove off, and the guy that I hit was like defending me to the cop. And then I was like, "Hey, cop, look at your cauliflower ears." So yeah, that's my funny road story.
Well, it worked.
Yeah.
And no one's hurt, and you got a new car. So that's the most important thing. Now, did you ever win a spelling bee or place highly, or
No.
did you just appreciate?
I just like to flex things that I'm naturally good at.
What's something else that you're naturally good at? Oh, including wrestling. What's something inside the wrestling world that you like feel you maybe picked up quicker than other things?
Maybe just the aggression. I don't think I've ever been scared to be aggressive or like embarrass myself because I'm too crazy or loud. So I think I picked that up pretty fast.
That's important.
I was feeling like it was really real, because it is.
Well, and you said promo is something you didn't feel comfortable with at first.
And I thought I would, because I am a talker. But sometimes when I think about what I'm going to say, it gets messed up. I need to just shoot from the heart.
When did you start feeling comfortable? Was it like a moment or like one of those like light bulb goes off?
I actually had a moment 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like, I'm not saying that's when it all clicked, but 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had to cut a live like heel promo at New South, and I was so nervous, and I did great. Honestly, I'll say it. I did great. I got great heat, and I had some good little comments, so I was really proud of it. And then after that, I was like, I can never waste time being this nervous about speaking in front of a crowd for a promo ever again. Like, everyone was like, "Why were you making it seem like you were nervous?"
Now, big league, AEW, WWE. If you have,
I thought you were talking about Big League in the UK.
Oh no!
I was like, "Oh, really?"
I was gonna say, but we're talking about the independent scene, overseas scene. If you had a dream opponent or a dream partner in either, maybe we'll do one for each, AEW and WWE, so no one's left out.
Oh gosh, okay. My dream opponent. Can I say Mickey James again?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's possible it can happen too, so that's a great dream.
Dream opponent is Mickey James. Dream tag partner from WWE. I have to say Nikki Bella. That's probably a random answer for most people to hear from me, but I love Nikki Bella, and I'd love to team with her. And AEW tag partner, I love Willow. I think we would be super fun as a tag team. And I'd love to wrestle Tekla. I think she's just so cool. Also in WWE, I'd like to wrestle Charlotte. That's kind of an easy answer. Or tag with her because we're both in North Carolina. And what was the other one? TNA?
AEW.
I did AEW.
Oh, so we can include TNA. Huh?
TNA, I want to wrestle Harley Hudson. She's from the UK as well, and we have some friends in common, but I just think she's perfect. I think she's so cool, so I really would love to wrestle,
Ironically, you mean this Harley Hudson?
Yes, that Harley Hudson. She's so cute.
Because, you know what, we'll give you some breaking news. We have Harley Hudson for a signing.
There you go.
At the end of this month. It was almost like I told you
That's awesome.
beforehand. So
We've never met, but I just missed her when I was in the UK, obviously, because she was going to TNA, but I just think she's so cool, and everything she does is so good, so I would love to wrestle Harley in TNA.
Nolan said, please tell Tess. He has a dog collar match against his former tag partner this Sunday in Toledo after he turned on him 3 months ago with a steel chair to the face and then repeatedly hit him in the head with a chain
Well,
wrestling.
who turned on who?
Nolan was turned on by his former partner.
Ooh.
He got his head busted open and left him on the brink of an injury in the ring. Damn, you had a rough go, Nolan. Well, I hope you beat up that... he didn't even say the partner's name. He's not mad. Former partner.
Well, F that guy.
What's a specialty match you'd want to have? A cage match, dog collar match, if you could, that you can see yourself really having some fun in.
My less violent answer is a lumberjack match. I just think that'd be so fun. It'd be fun to play with everybody around, and
I feel like lumberjack matches don't get enough. They aren't talked about as much too. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. That's because nobody wants to come out of the locker room.
Well, you said less violent. So what would the violent match be?
I think a ladder match would be really fun.
Ladder match.
Ladder match.
Potentially dangerous.
Potentially dangerous, but I gotta do it at some point. I actually have a spin the wheel, make the deal match on October 24th.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's a throwback. Where's that at?
QC Pro.
Give them a shout out.
Shout out to
October
QC.
24th. QC Pro, yeah.
Yeah, they got Heath Slater, Buff Bagwell, me, And Savannah Evans.
So do we know all of the matches on the wheel yet?
No.
Oh.
No, we don't.
QC Pro, let us know let us know in the comments on what some of the matches could be.
Please.
That is a forgotten great idea. Shout out to QC Pro. I haven't seen what
they're really doing it big for their first event. I think that's great.
That's cool. That's very cool. Now, what we're gonna do, guys, you got it. Yeah, so QC Pro actually placed an order for their photo.
Hey, we love the support.
QC Pro, future women's champion calling.
You heard that. I know y'all heard that. And everybody in my match in October, I'm talking Savannah Evans, Ella Envy, CeCe Young, Brittany Jade. Y'all heard that.
Watch out, whoever that may be in whatever match. QC Pro, shout out for spin the wheel, make the deal. That is awesome. I know I'm gonna watch that on October 24th. Hopefully it's streaming somewhere. If not, we'll have to wait.
QC Pro, you're backing the right horse.
And I'm gonna, QC Pro, you have to spell that, so this will count.
QCPRO.
You got it! Well, why don't you use, so I'm gonna get the inscription again.
Was it anything specific or just whatever I want?
Yes. Oh, wait, it is something specific. QC Pro, future women's champion calling.
Oh, awesome. Cute.
Great inscription idea and great match idea. Shout out to
Great ideas.
QC Pro.
There we go, QC Pro. Can't wait to win your title.
There it is. And I can't wait to hear what the stipulations could be. So please let us know.
Please let us know.
Great idea. And then drop all the information. Give QC Pro a follow, guys, on Instagram, on Facebook. Really cool stuff.
And come see us in October.
October 24th.
In Charlotte.
Now, that's the gathering, right? Mm-hmm. Let's give a shout out. We've been involved in the gathering before.
Gathering, October 24th, QC Pro, me, Buff Bagwell, Heath Slater. There's so many others too.
Yeah.
Savannah Evans, Ella Envy, CeCe Young, Brittany J. We named them. Some other great people there too. I think that's all I can think of right now.
That's a hell of a start. Now, upcoming schedule test. Now, you said in July you're going back to Europe. What do you have coming up before?
Next weekend, I think I'm going to be at KFW. I haven't 100% made sure of that. And then Saturday, I am wrestling Lizzie Cassidy at Innovate at Net Pro Studios in Kingsport, Tennessee. And the following weekend, I'll be back here in Charlotte for Extreme World Wrestling, defending my title at Lenny Boy Brewery. So...
There's a lot of wrestling promotions here that do shows at breweries. I love that.
I love
that. That is so cool.
That's something. Well, I guess we did have a show not necessarily at a brewery, but at a bar in the UK. But that was something that I missed while I was overseas. Was like the rowdy, like North Carolina bar shows.
Really?
The brewery shows.
So I'm surprised because overseas the crowds are typically rowdy, but
they're sorry to interrupt.
No.
They're not. That's like a thing though.
I mean, other sports like soccer or boxing. Yeah. So that's interesting that the UK fans for wrestling aren't as rowdy as us.
They're rowdy, but they're like rowdy in a civilized way. Like all of their chants are like synchronized and like they snap and clap and I think like my energy over there kind of got them to be rowdy because they were like, what the hell is this? But yeah, they're not rowdy. Nothing like America. Like not the rowdiness.
I feel that's a challenge. You just issued the entire country a challenge to where when you go back over there in July, they got to bring their rowdy level up. Yeah. Get rowdy. Our truth.
Our truth.
Get rowdy.
My personal hero. My dream opponent.
That'd be fun, right?
Yeah, whenever anybody asks me my dream opponent, I always like default to R-Truth. Like even in the most serious moment,
he's about to move some things and get rowdy.
I'm a big R-Truth fan. Bless Top Mess.
I love the addition over there. Where did you come up with that instead of finishing the name and of course with the
Well,
look.
I don't want to write Warren out. Maybe one day I'll get around to it. But I don't have a super pretty signature anyways, so I think that the little just
That adds something to it.
Yeah, I do this because when I was like 17, I did this like stick and poke. I don't know. Tell me if they can see it.
Look at that.
I did this stick and poke on my hand when I was 17. They last forever, so don't let anybody tell you.
Wait.
I went over it like way too many times, but it's lasted like
Holy.
7 or
I
8
thought it was a
years.
legit tattoo. It is.
It is a legit
It
tattoo.
is, you're
Yeah,
right.
it's a stick and poke. Like how, like what? And I remember in Moana they showed. Like,
Yeah, the island people.
yeah. So it's like a tribal Roman Reigns tattoo.
There you go.
But I did that when I was like 17, and I did it because my friend had gotten this stuff and chickened out, and this was the first thing I thought of. So it's kind of just a reminder to be spontaneous. I don't know. That sounds stupid and deep, but that's why I put it on there. I didn't want to go full face paint, but I wanted something a little.
How many times? How long did that take?
Honestly, I just kept going over it. Like, it looks so perfect still. I don't know. It almost feels like...
yeah, it doesn't really look faded.
No, it doesn't look faded. It hasn't faded at all. So if anyone ever tells you to do a stick and poke because it'll fade, then maybe just don't do it as many times as I did it.
Well, or maybe don't do it too big, because that's might be the perfect size too.
Yeah. I think it was just how many times I went over it, like until the skin popped.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Tess, why don't you tell everyone, one, where they can find you on social media, and then once again remind everyone on your upcoming schedule.
You can find me on social media. My Instagram is at Tess Warren with 3 R's in Warren because it was taken the other way. And my Facebook is Tess Warren, and I do not have Twitter or X. Nada.
Is there a specific reason for that?
I was told that's where the drama happens.
Yes. I
don't want anything to do with it.
I have it. I don't post. I wasn't able to crack the algorithm the way I have with Instagram and Facebook. But I will say, the 15 minutes before I go to sleep at night, there's always some wild shit happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have it downloaded so I can look up stuff and shit goes down.
That's
but
the best. Yeah. Be a ghost.
I've just been told, like, you might as well just not get it because, then you're not even opening that Pandora's box.
Yeah.
So that's my thing with Twitter. So no Twitter, no X. And you can find me next weekend at KFW on the 19th and at Innovate on the 20th at NetPro Studios against Lizzie Cassidy. And then the next weekend, you can find me at Extreme World Wrestling defending my title on the 26th at Lenny Boy Brewery.
Guys, I want to thank everyone that tuned in for the last hour or so with the blessed hot mess, Tess Warren. Get ready, Europe. She's coming back there in July.
Get ready.
QC Pro, get ready, because spin the wheel, make the deal. Your future women's champ is here. She wants to know what matches are happening.
I think
there.
that on the Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal, there's going to be a very weighted portion that says Tess just wins the title.
Tess wins.
So that's what I think is going to happen with Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal.
We have to find that out. Guys, as a reminder, we got the WCW Patriots tomorrow right around 4 p.m. the reunion. Always a great time speaking with you guys. Hopefully wherever you're watching us, you're having a good time. We're going to end the feed the way we always do, which is cheers to the working man. Cheers to Tess Warren. Thank you for spending some time with us, Tess.
Thank y'all.